I think personally, the main thing that's helping to drive this is private marketplaces and the creation of private marketplaces. We've also seen a reticence for supply side to put their inventory into the programmatic kind of slash RTB space because of a nervousness of decreasing yields and decreasing kind of revenue that they can put against their inventory. I think there are two real laser bolt issues we're seeing at the moment in the industry, which everyone knows, which is one, which is non-human traffic, accounting for views and how we deal with that, and the two is viewability and how we can make sure that the ads are in the right place for the client and they're actually seen versus, again, kind of like a kind of non-human view. And I think when you look at private marketplaces, the release of that inventory, the release of that high-end, high-quality inventory into private marketplaces that can be executed via programmatic, that's driving a real sea change from advertisers who've sort of been quite wary of this real long tail of sites and kind of unaccountability that's delivered through the wide open RTB space, coming back into the fold and actually saying we now know exactly where we're going, we can bid on our audiences, but we bid within a safe environment of a PMP, and that enables us to do it. So I think that for us is right now a really, really big sea change, and I don't think you'll find one major advertiser who doesn't want to operate in a PMP, and you won't find one big kind of supply side vendor who doesn't want to put their inventory in that now. And we're even seeing that from the big kind of 3 or 4 broadcasters as well, who've normally kept that inventory quite close. Releasing it into a PMP provides the safeguards, and it's a win-win, I think, for both parties. Technology as well, I think, technology, again, if you go back even, a year ago, not that long really in our world, that technology was really expensive, technology was really unusable and it didn't integrate, and I think now we've got technology that does all of those 3 things, and that enables us to deploy enterprise level technology onto a client's business in the right way in order to actually capture that programmatic intent and the audience intent that's delivered via that technology. I think that's had a huge impact of this kind of going forward. And I think finally, just the old reasons of what you could do with digital again, 5, 6 years ago, now apply into video, right? You can optimize it. You have accountability to that. You have an understanding of the audiences, what some of the vendors are doing, and plugging into Nielsen and Barb data is incredibly powerful, and it starts to have a little bit more confidence in advertisers to shift that spend into the right direction. I think there's 2 things that you can kind of separate from that question, okay? There's the programmatic, which to me is the executional piece. So that's how you go and buy, and that's the way in which you go and buy. And I think you've got the data and how you put that data together, which informs who you go and talk to and how you go and execute through the uses of programmatic. That's always been our take of it at IProspect, and I think that we've always done a job. We have a data management team that sits in our digital strategy group, and we run DMPs on every client that's executing via programmatic. Otherwise, it just feels like a really lackluster way of using technology. It's tying the arm behind the back of a DSP, effectively. So there's a lot of companies that have gone out and launched their own DSP, and obviously their DMPs as well. My point of view is really strong, is that 5, 6 years ago we were talking about client grids coming together, so the CMO, the CIO and the CTO grids merging together, and that becoming a very kind of blurred conversation across each of those kind of disciplines within clients. And I think a lot of clients have restructured themselves around actually having those much more of a joined up approach. So about 50% of our time around data is dealing with technology officers, information officers, IT teams, and those kind of people, the non-traditional marketeers who now hold the keys to pulling in first-party data and how we can kind of implement technology. I think that also is catapulted by clients having a much bigger awareness around technology. So you've now got clients who understand and will talk to, Oracle, talk to Adobe, we'll be talking to Google, we're talking to a lot of people who operate in this space, and those conversations are actually helping us to realise the benefit of that technology by raising the awareness of that within a client's team. I think within performance as well, performance has normally been born by channel, so it's been born bottom up. So whether that's within paid search, paid social, the way we can deliver display, the way we might look at even SEO and content fueling performance. What DMPs do is enable us to join, they're the glue that sits across all of those channels. So we use those to not only model in clients' first party data, but also to bring in the intent that we can show, and we know people are showing through their search usage and the keywords that they're searching for. We can bring that in terms of display and what they are or are not engaging with, what their behaviours are showing. So absolutely, I think anyone who's not using a DMP is probably about 12 to 18 months behind the curve, quite frankly. We've always used them, they've sat at the heart of everything they do. They stitch together in the appropriate way the channels in terms of performance. But I think more than that, they also give you a really rich vein of insight. So using the insight that you can gather from a user journey and attribution within a data management platform, if you're using the right one, can help go full circle and can ladder back into the comms planners and the strategists who are looking at really trying to understand how they can touch into that rich vein of kind of consumer intent. So they really should be sitting at the heart of everything you're doing, and if you're not using one of those, then I think you're really, really missing a trick, because you're not combining all of that rich, powerful data into one place, and then you're not using programmatic in a really, really laser precise way to serve the message to the right person. And I think that's where we've brought that right into the centre of our business, you know, working with our partners like Amnet, and working with Karam Visium across the Dentsu group to really make data management a really core premise of anyone who's utilising programmatic technology. Otherwise you're just spraying against the wall and you're hoping that some of it will come in. And that helps us as an industry to shift away from the behaviours around last cookie, and starts to help us with a lot of those kind of attribution models and those bigger questions that clients are asking us to challenge, really understand the role of what each channel is doing, but putting that against first-party data sources, so you understand who's already part of the consumer's kind of, part of the client's, marketing plan, already part of their customer base, and then we can start to have the right intelligent approach to understanding when they're at tipping point, when they're showing behaviours and triggers that mean they want to renew a product, they want to buy another product, they want a new service, and we can use Programmatic to go and find them and serve them a message to pull them back in.
Great. So you like DMPs?
I love DMPs. I think you know, one of your questions was around, not really a question, but it was around, you know, agencies have built their own DMPs, and then, you know, my point of view is really, really clear on this. Is like, you know, I know what we are and I know what we aren't, and what I'm not is a technology company, in the sense of I don't go and build technology. I'm not going to build a better DMP than Google. I'm not going to build a better DMP than Adobe or Oracle or their acquisition stacks. I'm not going to go and build a better DSP than any of the kind of options that we can come out there. I think our role as an agency will continually evolve to become a much more consultative approach through this, to help clients find the right technology, to embed that technology into their business, then to operate that technology on their behalf. And I think around data privacy is driving a lot of that as well. I think you've got clients, as I say, become more and more aware of that technology and how they bring it in. So for me to say that I'm going to build better technology than any of those players out there is a naive view. And that's not the view. I don't have 1,000 engineers sat on the west coast of the US. You know, you guys do at AOL, a lot of other people do. They do a brilliant job, and our clients more and more need our help to navigate the technology that's out there and constantly ensure they're using the right technology in their business as it connects through to their site analytics and it connects through to their first-party data. My role is not to go and try and build and invest multi-millions of pounds of my organisation's spend into building technology. Like, we have a very, very clear view on that. We're able to work with all the partners out there to find the right technology for the right client, and that could look different, you know, every single time.